Senator Kennedy, then Senator Stabenow.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Professor Myers, you are here at the invitation of my Democratic colleagues, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. In his opening statement, my good friend Senator Whitehouse said, I want to quote, reproductive justice is economic justice, close quote. Do you agree with that?
I might, as an economist, use the word rights, but yeah, I do agree with that.
Okay. That's not true for the baby, is it?
Well, first of all, I would refer to a fetus, not
yeah,
a baby.
But that's, well, a fetus. I refer to it as a baby. That's not true for the baby, is it?
The evidence that I presented to you, Senator Kennedy, was evidence about measurable effects on the lives of women, families.
Right, I got that part, but that's not true for the baby, is
it? I'm sorry, I don't really understand.
Well, it's not true. Let me be clear.
Let me back up. As an economist, I measure effects using data. I'm not here to talk about ethics, assignment of personhood. That's not my
Well, but you
role.
said you agreed with the chairman's statement that reproductive justice is economic justice. There is no economic justice for the baby because the baby's dead, right?
I wouldn't refer. I don't really know how to answer your question. I would refer to
was the baby dead or alive?
We're referring to a fetus.
Okay, is the fetus dead or alive after an abortion?
The fetus would be dead after an abortion.
Right. If the mother is healthy and the baby is healthy, do you support abortion up to the moment of birth?
So I think that's a really hard question to answer because that just doesn't happen. You're asking me about something that simply doesn't happen.
Well, it's legal.
I will tell you,
it's legal in Vermont, New Jersey, Oregon, Colorado, New Mexico, Alaska, and the District of Columbia, and the Loon wing of the Democratic Party supports abortion up to the moment of birth. So, do you support that or oppose it?
I don't think. Let me say, I'm here to talk about the economics of abortion.
No, you're here as an expert.
And I think you're asking me a
believe.
question as a person, which I'll answer as a person.
Okay, tell me as a person.
I will tell you as a person that I have ambivalence about abortion. I will tell you as a person, I haven't personally had an abortion. And I will also tell you as a person looking at the evidence around me and understanding how complex the decisions are that people face.
Okay.
I'm just simply uncomfortable.
I got to move on,
thinking that
Professor,
there's a simple answer that applies to everyone.
Question.
I trust women and their healthcare providers.
Yeah, it's real simple. You either support abortion for a healthy mother and baby up to the moment of birth or you don't. And I don't think it's a difficult question. How about you, doctor? Do you support, if the mother is healthy and the baby's healthy, do you support abortion up to the moment of birth?
So, Senator, you're using really inflammatory language to talk about a medical procedure, and it's not a simple yes or no. Not to mention, when you make statements like that, you're erasing the grief and the trauma that my patients
You're not going to answer my
through.
Question either, are you?
It's not a question that can be answered in an appropriate way.
I think I know your answer. Mrs. Ford, okay? Let's take a baby at 21 weeks. Hold up, Mike. This is a baby at 21 weeks, okay? The baby can feel pain, right?
Yes.
And the baby's pretty developed, right?
Yes.
And do you know the name of the procedure that the doctor would use to abort that baby at 21 weeks?
I'm not a doctor, but I believe it's a DNR.
It's called dilation and evacuation. And then the doctor would take what's called the doctor would call it a Sofer clamp. It's really a pair of pliers with sharp teeth on the end. And without giving the baby any pain medication, and start tearing the baby apart. Is that right?
As far as I understand the procedure.
Yeah, and she might start with the legs and pull them out and the arms and pull them out, right? and then she might go for the heart or the spine and just pull the baby out piece by piece. Is that right? Without giving the baby pain medication.
That's what I understand the procedure to be.
Okay. So then the doctor would go in and use those pliers to crush the baby's head. Is that right?
As far as I understand.
And then she'd pull the head out, the crushed skull out. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Senator Kennedy, your time has expired here.
Well, you gave the others
waiting.
plenty of time, Mr. Chairman.
Just letting you know, your time's expired.
Okay.
You have other senators waiting.
Well, I was waiting when you were letting others. I'm sorry you don't want to hear about what happens.
No, I don't think anybody
in
else
an actual abortion, but I thought that was what we were here to talk about.
Every time an abortion proponent does not answer questions, reminds me that they know that it is wrong. A 60-something obstetrician once said that no expectant mother has ever asked him how her fetus is doing. I had 5 children. I never said we're going to have a fetus. I've noticed that everyone who is for abortion has already been born. The quote by the late, great President Ronald Reagan, President number 40. They don't call it a baby because that would humanize it. Senator Kennedy, you are exposing the inhumane cruelty of an actual abortion and the incredibly intense pain a baby is subjected to, so your time is up. My pronouns are baby and child. Thank you. It's inflammatory to ask a question in a certain way, just not inflammatory to slaughter an innocent child so abhorrently and selfishly. Got it, lady. The word fetus is Latin for offspring, young. In other words, baby. There are no words to describe this level of evil and disingenuousness. Appalling. They are so damn dishonest. They refuse to answer a question because the answer is damning to their position. She's a PhD and doesn't know that a fetus is a baby. She probably can't say what a woman is either. Where have we heard that before? As Jack Nicholson once said, you can't handle the truth. When someone struggles that much to answer a yes or no question, then you can be absolutely sure that they know they are wrong. This cool tum rebel has got a 5-paragraph great post here, so you can stop the video and read it yourself. It's just too long for the video. They can't answer the question because they know it's a human baby. Here's a good one. How is bacteria life on Mars, but a baby isn't on Earth? This world has gone bananas. It looks like an Italian flag. What kind of ghoul would actually perform this abomination? She says the fetus will be dead with a smile. So vile. I agree. And economists putting a $sign on the baby's life, that's very elitist, isn't it? That's the most difficult, disturbing video I've ever seen. Please, dear friends, stop this madness. These women are cold-hearted. I missed that one. The lengths these professional women will go through to avoid answering a direct question is astonishing. Their responses are as laughable as listening to the SCOTUS candidate Ketanji Brown Jackson denying that she is a woman due to her not being a biologist. Senator Kennedy's description of the abortion procedure was quite unsettling, something everyone needs to hear regardless of how uncomfortable it makes them. Kennedy is a savage. We need more non-Democrat senators like him. I agree. You've got to love YouTube's context box that tries to sanitize and clarify the definition of abortion. It's killing, plain and simple. If a woman or a girl doesn't want to get pregnant, they should keep their legs closed or use some kind of protection. Senator Kennedy, wow, good man, giving a voice to the voiceless. We live in evil times. There's almost never a reason for an abortion. Millions of couples would gladly adopt a baby. Oh, this guy's got the transcript. It's too long for the video, but you can stop the video and read it yourself. But if you've paid any attention to the video at all, you won't need to read the transcript. And I think I'll close it here. Another good paragraph. You can stop and read. Senator Kennedy is an absolute legend, and I'll stop it at that. So from this day forth, moving forward for the rest of my life, I'm just not going to discuss this abortion issue with anybody, even though I'm trying to become a political analyst and consultant. I'm not going to be pigeonholed, and I'm not going to be browbeaten anymore. My stance is I'm pro-life. I do understand that there's provisions of the rare exception, and the number one exception that the mother should have free choice and free will is the life of the mother. There has never been a state in this country, as far as I know, that ever contradicted that or compromised the health of the mother. These people are whining and crying and, well, how about rape and incest and the baby's deformed? Okay, the woman should have free choice regarding this horrible issue. Number one, it should never be discussed with anyone else. See, that's the problem. The Marxists have been very successful in this country of getting this abortion to be a divisive issue. There is a large amount of people in this country, the last I heard was 28% of registered voters have a single issue. Okay, let me reword that. In political science, and there's been many studies done, and there's compiling of information and voter information and exit polling and everything else, and surveys and questionnaires, focus groups. And it's been estimated that there's a good segment of the American voters that have a single issue, okay? Single issue voters. I used to think that it was immigration, that people would be either for or against the illegal immigration problem that Donald Trump brought up. It's not. The number one issue for single issue voters is this abortion issue. 28% of the registered voters in this country use abortion as their single issue to vote either for or against. And I'm going to tell you right now, it sure looks like that the majority of these one-issue voters, they're pro-abortion. Okay, look at the turnouts in Kansas and these other red states, and it was overwhelmingly all these ballot petitions, and they pass every time. And they give that to women vote. Look what happened in the midterms of 2022. I made a video at that time that had these CNN's headlines. They were the first one out with it, that the Supreme Court may have altered the 2020 midterms, and they did. That red wave never materialized because the Democrats got the abortion issue in their back pocket. And it works in their favor because Republican people keep thinking they're going to discuss abortion, especially men. Women feel that men shouldn't be discussing abortion because men don't have a uterus. That's fine. That's a knee-jerk natural reaction. I am so upset about making this video. This is the most difficult video I've ever had to make. This is my 165th video for this one channel. I got 12 channels and my time is limited. I got a couple jobs. This is just a hit and miss thing for me. This is the hardest video I've ever had to watch and the hardest video I've ever had to make. Let me say it right here while I'm thinking about it. I have no script here. I'm so upset. I couldn't get the script going. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. This abortion issue should never be discussed. And it should never be a political issue. Never. Never, never, never. Okay, and I feel so strongly about that. When I was teasing my wife and my coworkers and my friends and online, and I would say, I'm going to start my own third party. When they asked me about what my abortion position is, I was going to say, it's the PPFMM. PPFMM, an acronym. It should be easy to remember after a couple of times. It's a private, personal, family, medical matter. I don't want to know about the lady down the street. I don't want to know the lady in the next town. I don't want to know about the lady in Canada, Africa, Australia. I don't care. I don't want to know about their business. That's their business. They got to deal with that. And that was my stance, that I was just never going to discuss it. Never, never, never. And try to remove that from the political consciousness of America. But that's not going to fly. I'd get 2 votes. I'd vote for myself and some clown who'd make a mistake and vote for me. That's what would happen. The Marxists that have indoctrinated these people in this country. Now look at them. Look at the panel that was just up there in front of Senator Kennedy. Okay, look at all female, not good. All millennial types, not good. The first one had a PhD, right? Not good. These people, these Democrats, these elites that are trying to really destroy the country. There's a part of me that kind of understands that they think they're losing some control and it's not going the way they want. They're trying to get the tyrannical government in, as far as I'm concerned. And that way they can do whatever they want. And they're coming for your guns. They just can't come out and say it yet, but they will. And as a matter of fact, a few people have come out and said that. Remember Beto O'Rourke? They're coming after your guns because then they can do whatever they want. Czechoslovakia in 1956. Well, just a year before they took away all their guns, didn't they? Yeah. And look what happened. Russia just walked right on in there. And they're worried about Russia running into Europe, but they're not worried about, people coming over here if we lose our guns. They're not worried about the UN troops putting it in every city. And you see, it's never happened in America, so they can't. Their brain's been programmed not to think that way. Okay, but let me tell you, boy, they fight hard to kill that baby inside their own womb, don't they? And I feel terrible making this video. but it has to be made. Our tax money pays for the senators and the congressmen, the House representatives, and pays for the White House and the courts and all the output agencies. They keep growing. There's 400 administrative agencies in this country. Your tax dollars, your money's paying for that. And my wife's money, her hard-earned tax dollars is paying for that. And I work 2 jobs, I'm paying for it. I don't mind paying for it, but they got to do their job. And they haven't done their job the last 50 years as far as I'm concerned, other than Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump. I'm going to close this video out. It's way too long. I got to cut some stuff out. If it comes up, I'm going to speak out. No, this is wrong. Okay, that's a life. It never affected me, my personal life. It never affected my wife or my daughters in their lives. It never came up. My daughters were great. They didn't do the stuff I see and I hear about these, the other men with their problems with their daughters. My daughters weren't like that, and I'm bragging, I'm proud. And people that keep focusing on this, what's wrong? What are they thinking? I once heard this guy, he said your thoughts can turn into actions, and so be careful what you're thinking. Your thoughts become action, and you become what you keep talking and thinking about. I just don't understand it, and I never did. And when I was a boy growing up in high school, there was always one girl a year in our big classes in Baltimore City, Baltimore County. Only one girl in the classes would get pregnant. They'd send her home, and she'd have her baby, and it was the end of that. Okay. Well, they got daycare centers in these hospitals out here in California. Yes, they do. Don't believe me? I didn't believe it when I was first told that. I had to go for my next PTA meeting. I went for my youngest daughter. They took me to and showed me the daycare room. It's just 20, 30 girls a year. It's nothing. I didn't say a word. I just dummied up. Said, thank you for showing me, and I walked out. My father said something to me very, very profoundly. Well, he didn't say it to me. He was telling us all. He goes, this thing with the birth control is the end of American society. That was the final nail in the coffin. We laughed. We mocked him. My mother, the 4 of us kids, my mother, we mocked him. He said, yeah, okay. We shall see. We shall see. That was the end of everything. Birth control. Because when I was coming up, they didn't have birth control. That drought that Richard Pryor and his stand-up comedians talk about, the Dick Gregory, and I was caught up in that big drought in the 40s and 50s where it was really hard to get action. And I'm paraphrasing, I'm saying it nicely. Well, yeah, because there was consequences. I mean, a woman knew if she had intercourse, she might get pregnant. That was a big deterrent. It still happens. I mean, we got millions of people, you're going to get 1 or 2. That's a numbers game. But I'm here to tell you that this whole topic is just extremely disgusting. And I doubt if I'll ever make another video like this again because it just disgusts me so much. I'm going to stop it here because I have no script and I'm just rambling and people don't like it when I ramble. Well, you know what? No, that's just too bad. Watch your dog and cat videos and just do what you do. Just don't involve me when my tax money's not paying for your irresponsibility. I still love my country very much. It hurts and shames me, and I'm thinking 24/7, how can I contribute? How can I help to stop this devastation of this country? So I'll make videos. I don't know what else to do. Until I find that answer, this is it. Always great day to be an American. Always great day to be an American. Always. Even in the middle of the night like this, 4 in the morning. Thank you. Stay tuned for the next video.